So, you are dad to the lovely Ben, who you just told me is 2.5.
2.5. Where'd that go?
I don't know. I can't believe it.
How old is Jacob?
Jacob's going to be 2 in September, so he's got a couple months to go before he's 2. But I mean, I look at him now and I can't believe.
But our fella's gonna, like, honestly, he's a little boy now.
Is he?
Yeah, the baby stage is over. I know.
Is he?
Lament. Oh,
in his own bed.
Well, caught. Although he did attempt to climb out of it while I was
he?
watching Match of the Day about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Bex went on a night out, which is, few and far between.
Yeah, of course.
With the girls. And I was downstairs watching Match of the Day. Boy asleep, everything's fine. And next, boom! What the fuck?
Yeah.
Climbed out and boom, onto the ground.
He climbed out over the cot.
Climbed out over the cot and landed and sat there and just went, rah! So I up the stairs anyway, went into him. He was grand, but I mean, Jesus Christ. That's the thing that people don't tell you. And this is one thing about parenthood that people never tell you.
Go on.
The sleep. Like, unless you have, like, there's people across the street, their child goes to bed at 8 o'clock, wakes up they say they have to pull the child out of bed at 8 o'clock the next morning to get her to go to creche.
And you want to murder these people.
And you're like, fucking Jesus.
You're like, oh.
But Ben is just not a great sleeper. And we have tried everything.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's tough, because that then bleeds into everything. You're cranky, you're going to work, you're struggling to, perform properly or rehearse, and oh Christ. And writing especially. I've sat down in front of the computer, written scenes and just gone, that's crap, delete.
Because you're so tired.
Knackered. We have a thing we call every night the sleep dance. So we put him up at 7:30, 7:45, and we expect him to go to sleep every night stupidly. And at about 9:45, he's still going, Mommy.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. He's just playing the game.
Yeah.
And then we go dung, 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 for like 7 times. So if the side of the cot is down, he'd literally be down the stairs 7 times. And we're like, fuck that.
7:30 till 10:30, you're playing.
No, but 7:30. It's about 7:45 to 9:45 now.
Of like 99.
More box. So you're like, more box. Box is bottle.
Ah.
You need blankie and box.
Oh yeah.
Box and blankie, blankie and box. The fantastic thing about this is that you're actually, like, you're allowed to be a messer. You can actually, like, we'd be going around the kitchen doing some like tremendous shite altogether, and he thinks it's hilarious.
And doesn't it remind you,
in fact,
of how to have fun when you have kids?
Absolutely.
And how to be
In fact,
silly.
he's the only one who likes my impressions of other actors. Other actors don't like it at all, but he does. Because some people bust away just want to watch the world burn. That's Michael Caine, but Ben just thinks it's absolutely accurate, because every time I do it, he bursts into like complete fucking gushings of laughter.
What are the most annoying things that other parents do to you as a parent? Like, do you think do you find that other parents are judgmental? Do you find that they interfere, or they've always got something to say?
Not really. Very early on, when the child is very, very young, you do get a lot of know-it-alls giving you advice that...
Unsolicited advice.
It's unsolicited. I mean, if you seek somebody's advice and say to them, look, can you help me here? Or what did you do in this situation to give it perfect? But unsolicited advice, which it just keeps coming, gets a bit annoying after a while. But actually, we haven't had it for quite a long time.
My one was I don't mean to interfere,
but yeah. Everything's prefaced with that, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's generally somebody who's not around very often, which is worse. If it was somebody who was actually helpful and around and hands-on, but it's generally somebody
over the phone
you don't see very much, and then decides to give you their 2 cents. You're like, really? Where the fuck were you? And he was, projectile vomiting during the night.
But projectile vomiting, have you had that?
No.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I did it when I was in labour. That's the last time it happened to his
family. I was on my own. Bex was either at a fucking work thing or a funeral or something like that, and Ben started going like this, and I was like, what's going on? This guy hadn't a clue what was going on. So I thought maybe he was going to have a little bit of dribble sick, because, he'd gone from baby to toddler, so we hadn't had any real sick yet, So I lifted him into the kitchen, and as I lifted him, he went down me, down my pants, down himself, down my arms. So I'm holding him covered in vomit. He's covered in vomit, and I'm standing in the middle of the kitchen floor going,
what do I do?
I'm about 3 feet away from the sink. What do I do here? So I popped him into the sink.
Good.
Took his clothes off, took my clothes off, rinsed the clothes, put him into the washing machine, and the 2 of us walked up the stairs naked. Just kind of washed the 2 of us upstairs and got him dressed. And then an hour later, again. I was like,
my God.
But you know something? The thing about it is that if anybody else in the world had projectile vomited on me,
there'd be trouble.
I'd have projectile vomited. It'd be like that scene from The Meaning of Life, you know, when you're...
Oh, you'd get sick as well.
I get sick as well.
We all get sick at each other.
But when it was him, something in you just went, all right, we're going to take care of the situation and just get over it. Father's Day, I hung out with Ben, and actually somebody was... It's funny because you're thinking Father's Day, you want to just go and, you know, chill out or whatever. Actually, there's no better way to spend it than being in the park with the boy, you know?
Yeah. And you're very hands-on, aren't you? I mean, every time I'm on the phone to you, I'm off to the beach with Ben, off to the park with Ben.
I would try to be, you know. I mean, well, look, I'm in a very fortunate position with what I do for a living in that I have an ocean of free time.
Yeah.
And
flexible time.
So I take more of the parenting responsibilities than would a traditional man who has a 9-to-5 job, because he doesn't have the amount of free time that I do. But by sharing it with Bex, hopefully at this early stage, and especially in terms of development, he's getting the best of both worlds. You know?
Relieve me of my better sense. I fear that I might lose myself in you. And so the story goes the same way with different foes. Demons knocking at my door.